I'd like to call over the Beaver County Board of Commissioners work session for Wednesday, March 5th, 2025. Review of discussion meeting minutes. We're good. Department head reports. Treasurer?
The discount period is coming to a close. The last day of pay, minus 2% is March the 13th. We collect the majority of the county's money during this discount period. And that has held true this year as well. So I do hear that the merger was complete between West Banko and Premier Bank. So there's a little shakeup in the board members at both banks. And I have not heard whether they're going to keep the bank over behind the park or this one here, but they're not going to keep both of them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other department head reports?
Real quick, at the end of last season, we discussed the potential of having the pool liner replaced. We thought we could potentially get one more year out of it, but with the harsh winter conditions, it exponentially damaged it beyond repair. We had received 3 quotes last year, varying from $144,000 to $299,000. I spoke with one of the providers, and based off schedule, now's the time to move. If we were to pursue that, I would ask that it's unlikely that we can get bid documents and get on a schedule to open the year. Would this be eligible for an emergency declaration based on opening, or how would you like me to proceed?
That's a department question.
Just commentary. I hate when you get estimates that are that far apart.
Yeah.
First of all.
Well, some of the companies are willing to do different, like their recommendation. I know the recommendation is this specific type of membrane. The other are open to.
So it's not apples to apples.
Yeah, it's not apples to apples, but it's almost, this company, this is the only liner we do. We're not willing to do it because we're not willing to warranty that product.
The first question, I guess, is there a consensus to fix it?
So, Tony didn't ask that question.
I do have the figures of the YMCA pool report last year of like attendees, how many days it was open, and what it cost us to run.
If there's a consensus to fix it for the purposes of getting it open by beginning of June.
Usually Memorial Day is the
Right.
target, right?
I think you could go that route.
All right.
Can you?
I'd like to see the.
Yeah, can you provide that to us and we could
The 3
review it?
quotes, yeah.
Well, the YMCA report.
Yeah, I'll make a copy after.
Yeah, and we could
Yeah, so it was open
discuss
63
it next
full
week
days.
further.
Total attendance was 5,771. So.
Sandy?
Is there any conversation of if the YMCA would like to expand their footprint?
They would not.
Yeah.
Okay.
We also reached out to the Economy Borough, and I think there was some,
They would not.
All right.
Economy
We had
Borough,
a pretty good deal for them.
Economy Borough
Here it is.
might like to take it over, but I think they like to take the entire park over, not just the pool.
Correct.
So.
Yeah, the reality is most recreation departments and municipalities are moving away from.
They're going to splash pads, quite frankly. They're going to splash pads
That's one of
and
the.
away from pools. It's lower maintenance, provides.
I'd rather invest that $300,000 into a splash pad than a pool.
Yep. I think it's time we have that conversation, if we're gonna do something like that.
But we could also look at the,
Yeah, look at data, see the usage. I mean, that sounds like a pretty good number of people that were taking advantage of it, but, I don't know.
Couple questions.
Control?
Is this general fund money or tourism dollars?
Whatever we push.
Tourism can't be spent on the pool, right?
No, I mean, some
Could.
departments, if we view, and it's more of a, I would ask, that's a Corey question based on, we have used, in other counties do use tourism funding for their recreation upgrades. We have done that in the past, as long as we view it as this is an attraction to bring people into the county.
Right.
Other counties, I know Westmoreland has dumped a lot of tourism money into their recreation.
I would probably say if we review this YMCA report, we're gonna see it's not bringing it outside Ice Arena is a different story because they bring people from all different
Outside the
states
region.
and outside.
Outside Beaver County,
Yeah.
so.
I guess, and I know I'm always the bad person on this, I do not view a swimming pool as an emergency to bypass the bid process. I know it's a lot of decision, but I think it's a stretch to say that opening the pool on time is an emergency that would allow us to bypass our bid processes.
I think
I'm
also,
just stating, that's my,
Make-
I'm saying
make a
that
note-
as a controller.
Make a note
I
that
know I
Maria
have
wants to
both
close
sides
the
saying
pool.
that, but
Make a note.
I think opening the pool is not an emergency.
Maria
It
wants to
makes
close
common
the pool.
sense to make us bypass our bidding.
yeah, I think, and there's also the conversations we had about which, if we put the bid process together, which liner or which product we go with, which will
process
last
we go.
longer. That company might not be able to get it done this year. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if they all could do it, if just one said they could do it, or,
And personally, my prediction is if we were to put this out to bid, and depending on what membrane, we might have to rebid it based off of only one submission of, it's almost based off
It's
what
almost like a
membrane.
specialty
it's-
product.
Yeah, specialty product, and each company specializes in a specific one, that's just my estimation. But, yeah, I am open,
for a conversation.
yeah,
Yeah, if you
for
could
all conversation, yeah, I'll make copies.
make
out.
copies of that, and we could.
Yeah, I think
Further
they-
the
they
conversation next week, see, and we'll get some economy.
they listed their total receipts for the year was $35,306.11.
That was their total receipt?
Yeah.
But we
And our management contract is $18,000 for the year, that's what we pay.
pay them 18,000.
Correct.
It's probably the lifeguards and all the other stuff.
All right, thank you. Any other department head report? Hearing none?
Dan's looking out the window.
Trying to avoid eye contact there. Solicitor's office.
Needed executive session for personnel and contract negotiations.
Any questions for the solicitor's office? Move to the commissioners, Commissioner Mann?
Well, just a couple of things. I know I mentioned that poll workers tax relief that CCAP was advocating for, and just saw that NACO, so nationwide, is also lobbying for tax relief for the monies that poll workers get during the elections and stuff, which I still think is a good thing. It's hard enough to get people to volunteer for that as it is, and taxing them for the few bucks that they can make for the days that they're working the polls and getting trained before that. So it's a good thing. Just a couple other things. I was on the radio this morning with Rich Fitzgerald. He has a Wednesday morning program on Southwest Planning Commission. And had a conversation about workforce development and how Beaver County's got a great collaborative effort between with the Bridges and Pathways College Coalition there. And I mentioned to him that if he'd have told me when I moved here, it was a trustee of the community college, that the community college of Beaver County, a Christian college and a state university would be collaborating together on workforce development, I never would have believed it. We could hardly get articulation agreements, and now they really have a full-born effort to train local people, retain local people, and collaborate with different programs, certificates, and the like. And with the Commonwealth, Commonwealth-wide with 4-year enrollments down across this, and, Penn State Beaver being on the list being looked at. Those certificate programs, the 2-year programs, there's a nursing program where you go to CCBC for a year, Geneva for 2, complete stuff up. They have some neat collaborative things going on, and I'm very proud of the efforts. I talked about that. And then there's the Allegheny Conference Day has our annual meeting. Matt Smith asked me to come down and talk a little bit about Beaver County, so I got 10 minutes to sell Beaver County in front of a bunch of potential investors and businesses, mainly in the energy, battery, big enterprise kind of businesses that are looking at the region for investment. So I was greatly appreciative of Matt, because it was just Allegheny County, Lauren Conley, who's Allegheny County Economic Development Director, and I, who got to speak before this conference. So I was proud to represent Beaver County and do my best job selling it. So,
Thank you. We'll move to other business. Any other business? Audience participation. Trader?
The commissioners heard, any rumors that the Shell plant is going to be leaving?
it's not even,
Other than Facebook. I saw, I think,
I've been asked.
was it
yeah, I'm sure you have.
KDK Radio maybe put an
Yeah,
article
okay.
out that looks like Shell's considering selling off some assets.
Pittsburgh Business Times as well. I saw, there was an article Sunday that I saw from the Wall Street Journal. This happens, my career started with Shell's first sell-off of their plastics business 50-some years ago. And now they've come back. There's a new CEO. They're looking at core assets. But I mean, the places that they're talking about from Shell, Deer Park is a huge refinery in the Houston Ship Channel area. This plant, I think, let's face it, everything has a price, right? Everything has a price. If somebody offers them the right deal, they might divest themselves of that and get back to what the new CEO is saying, core business, which is really oil, gas, drilling, refinery, that kind of stuff. During construction of that, Shell sold off multiple assets. If Sandy, you probably recall that as well. So it's not unusual. I think it's unusual in that the plant just opened and it cost $14 billion. And now it's on the perspective of 20 different assets they have that might be available. So could happen, might not.
And another point of collaboration is I'm hearing that there is a town hall meeting going to happen between New Brighton School District and Rochester School District for shared administrative costs.
A long time coming.
Which I highly support.
When was that, Maria?
I didn't know if she knew what.
I know.
April 7th.
There's two.
Well,
April 7th is at New Brighton, I believe, and April 27th, I believe, is in Rochester.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's April 7th.
I'm sure it'll be well publicized, particularly for the residents
Yeah.
of Brighton and
Karen looks
Rochester.
like he's looking it up right
Yeah, I've
now.
already seen it on Facebook.
Yeah.
And their solicitor.
April 24th.
April 7th at New Brighton,
50%, right?
April 24th
I'll take
at
it.
Rochester, both are at 6 o'clock.
Thank you.
Close, I did.
Yeah, you had the right month. Anyway, I didn't even know that. so.
I saw it shared several times.
No, I heard it. And by the way, I think there ought to be more of that. And there's so much potential for collaboration. You know, if it was up to me, I'd have all the Rochester kids, 9 through 12, go to New Brighton, graduate from New Brighton, keep the middle school and the elementary school in Rochester for the locals. Don't want to send your kids too far on a bus, but
Well, I
sharing a superintendent, I think one of the dumbest things Blackhawk did was get rid of Postapak as the superintendent of Blackhawk and Western Beaver. Superintendents are expensive and they can easily handle 2 schools. So don't get me started on that, sorry.
I think the problem is Rochester has accumulated so much debt that if you put that debt over to New Brighton, who has been more responsible with their money.
But you don't have to,
they're-
Sam.
They're taxing their income.
No, my point is, whatever you're paying in taxes in Rochester, when your kids go 9 through 12, you're paying that amount to New Brighton. You're not merging and consolidating the debt. You're only, I mean, instead of going to PA Cyber and Lincoln Park, you're just going to New Brighton, that's all. 9 through 12, you're just paying what you're paying in taxes and you're sending it to New Brighton.
I was referring to a merger.
No, I know, but that's the problem with mergers, right? I mean, if you got,
Right.
Blackhawk probably has 44 million in debt. Western Beaver has 4. Nobody wants to be responsible for $48 million worth of debt. So you could do the same thing there, where you've got enrollment less than 50 kids. You don't have to build any new infrastructure in Blackhawk or in New Brighton to be able to absorb those kids. But you do potentially lose a mascot and a football team and all that stuff, so. I don't think it would either, Dan, but.
Especially after the 4 years and it's new kids come up.
Yep, exactly, don't know any better, so, and the teams will get better because they have more depth, so.
Any audience participation?
Agreeable. Speaking to that, wasn't there a problem, with double payments? With the superintendent,
Double payments.
Black
Oh, I
Rock,
don't-
and
Normally there's a contract between the two districts and how that gets divided up.
No, there was one shared.
Think of it less as double payment as more half of a payment.
No, you're paying less for your superintendent.
All of that was
Per school.
wrapped up in, there was a lot more than it being, they didn't want to they didn't have enough, there was legal things there that were not true, there were legal fees that they thought were double paid, it wasn't his salary, there were other things wrapped up in that whole, put in that thing. Other than them thinking he didn't have time, there was a whole lot of stuff. I mean, they like the sharing, I think they just used that to help get rid of, because Blackhawk didn't want because of other reasons.
Yes.
I figured
That's
that's
the
more
way
to
to
that
that
than,
thing,
yeah. Then, also, referring to the Shell Company, according to the Wall Street Journal, that Shell is considering selling its chemical assets in Europe and the United States. Potential buyers could include private equity firms and Middle Eastern entities looking to expand their capacity in the West. So the Wall Street Journal's on that too.
Yeah, that's where I first saw it Sunday. It was in the Wall Street Journal.
Any more news on, any more news on the Styrotech land?
No, other than it was a topic of discussion at the Allegheny conference there, that there are people looking at the site. But I don't know exactly what that means. I was told that, I'm pretty sure it's not to run it as a
Is there
styrenics
any
plant.
way that we could, is there any way that we can have a participation or an investment as opposed to a purchase of the land?
That is not up to us. That is not up to any resident, Beaver County, or any county elected official. That's not up to us. It's a private land. Property owners have property rights and they can pretty much do what they want with that land, as long as it meets permits and DEP requirements and all those kinds of things.
I'm just concerned about, foreign entities owning
Understand?
land. You know, I don't care about their participation or their investment, that's a good thing, but, I'm just not real fond of their owning the land. I don't know if there's anything we could do about that.
There is not.
Nothing.
But there is, I think, things that the federal government can do. And so,
Any further audience? Mr. Wolf?
So, Shippingport, are they putting in a solar farm there?
I don't know.
There's rumors that apparently there was they had their own committee or town meeting, whatever they call it, there. And I was just wondering if you just knew about that. If you did, is there an exit strategy for 25 years from now to dispose of all that mess?
There's a solar field called BE Pines that's up on the hill there. That's a former reclaimed mine kind of site. That's the only solar panels that I'm aware of in the whole region there. They are, the new owners of the Bruce Mansfield site are clearing some trees
That's where
for
the
future development, but it's, to my knowledge, it has nothing to do with solar panels. So.
I just don't want the county to get stuck with some multi-billion-dollar cleanup.
Yeah, that would be a local zoning issue.
It's a shipping port.
That the shipping port would handle for their zoning.
Any other audience participation? Hearing none. All right, we will move into executive session. Thank you.